What's up, y'all? It's Danny Dillon, the Dark Angel. It's the dawn of the Illuminati. We're here to set the record straight and to expand the creation. I'm here and I'm listening to Tupac Evolution Disc 10, and there is the Temptation remix, which is from the maxi single of Temptation that was released around the time that Me Against the World was released. Tupac would be convicted of sodomizing a woman and be sent to prison to Rikers Island. And this song in particular is interesting because I was reading online, they call it the Magnus Opum. I think it was Opum. No, I don't think it was Magnus. I think it was the Magnum Opum. The Magnum Opus of his work. It's widely considered to be the pinnacle of his work. At the same time, I just saw an interview with Suge Knight where he's claiming that Tupac is alive and that the Death Row Tupac is better than the Interscope Tupac. So honestly, I think he's right. Suge is right. I mean, Tupac is definitely alive, and this is a decent song. And Tupac, Machiavelli, whatever you want to call him, he continues to evolve. He gets better and better. So, but the Temptation song, this particular remix is good. At that time, Tupac was working with some of the bad boy producers. I think the Temptation remix, Easy Mo B, that's who it is, right? Easy Mo B. Okay, so production. I mean, this is a solid beat. I have the Roland TR-08 here, so that I can start making some beats myself. This phone that I have doesn't allow me to switch from one camera to the other, so I have to probably get a better phone. I also realized, I've been taking a break from technology for a while, and there's been a lot of advancements now. At this point, with the natural language processing and the audio interaction with the mobile device, the storage space, it's all possible. We should be able to. I'd be surprised if it hasn't been done. Okay, if there isn't an enterprise and space exploration going on right now with live communication between the Enterprise and this planet, okay, and the Confederation. Now, when we get out there, will we come across the Klingons? Hopefully, because that's a great way to collaborate with a new race of people, and the Romulans and the Vulcans and these type of these are from Star Trek. There's a whole legacy about it, and that's what now I recall. On this disc, there is Pain, which is a famous Tupac song, one of the best, and the introduction for Pain is from Star Trek. I couldn't help but notice your pain. My pain? It runs deep. Share it with me. There's a scene in Star Trek, one of the movies, where Spock, I think it's Spock, is being electrocuted. And so that was what Tupac used as the intro to the song Pain. Now, Pain and Loyal to the Game were tracks that were recorded while Tupac was filming Above the Rim. Death Row Records did the soundtrack for Above the Rim, and it wasn't just those two that were recorded. The other song that was recorded was the first track on Evolution Disc 10, which is a track. It's called Life Is So Hard, and it's a great track. Snoop Dogg ruined it, okay? Snoop, I know you're out there, you're on the internet a lot, I hear you and see you, and you really, really destroyed that track, okay? You should just left it alone. We don't need to hear you crying. So when it's released on Gang Related, Snoop Dogg comes on and he starts crying, and I guess at some level a lot of people like Snoop Dogg, and perhaps that's the reason why we need Snoop Dogg crying on the track. But honestly, the version without anyone crying is much better. It's a solid, complete track. So, sorry, and that's Life Is So Hard. Now, the reason why Snoop is crying is because at that time, I think he's still trying to, for some reason or another, I just saw another video of him, right? He's with one of these Hollywood actors. He's a celebrity now, right? And Suge Knight and him have made amends. Snoop released a track. It's pretty good. It's called Let Bygones Be Bygones. I would recommend you listen to that track, and I'll post a link to it. Now, when I post a link to a track, what I would expect to happen is that you click the link, and then if you own the license to the song, you're able to hear the song, and if you don't own the license to the song, you're able to listen to a portion of the song. And if you like that portion, then you can listen to the full song. And if you like the full song, then you get charged for listening that one time, which would be a very small payment for a one-time listen. And if you listen more and more and more, then eventually you pay for each and every listen, right? That's the way it should be done, using micropayments, which is possible. There is a way to do that with electronic credits and currency. You can do micropayments. That's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is to consider how many listening minutes there is, okay? And to create a model in terms of if you're doing streaming music, right? But then you need to have a way to provide client-side security. So it's a little bit different. But what I was thinking is basically there's 24 hours in a day, and 60 minutes in an hour. So there's a finite amount of time in a day. What percentage of the time in a day is spent listening to music, listening to a particular artist or the tracks? And basically, it's not even daily, because usually when you pay for streaming music, you're subscribing by the month, okay? But let's say you have a daily option as well, because we want to do the absolute best streaming music service. From what I understand from Jimmy Iovine, the margins on streaming music are very tight. He doesn't think that there's any opportunity to differentiate and compete on a differentiated service. At the same time, we have Amazon, which charges $9.99 a month for one user, and then also $14.99 a month for 6 users in the same household. That's one model. Then there's Tidal, which is Jay-Z's company. I'm going to stop calling him anything else. I'm going to get away from the cynicism, because that's what I just read in this book, okay, the Think and Grow Rich book, which I'll post another video about. Apparently, if you lose the cynicism, you get to be wealthy quicker. So Jay-Z has a streaming music service called Tidal, which tries to differentiate based on the quality in terms of the sound quality. Neil Young was also into this. Now, these artists, when they start to understand the music business, they go through the experience that Taylor Swift is going through right now, where Scott, some financier who found Justin Bieber and is making money off of his songs now. And it is a legitimate job. Suge Knight's job is a legitimate job. You need someone to manage the business side so that the artist can focus on creating music and doing what the artist does best. And this is specialization, right? So this Scott is in a disagreement with Taylor Swift, and she's going to re-record her old albums later this year, because that's when the contractual restriction that prevents her from doing so expires. Now, the fans should know about this, and the fans should decide when they listen to Taylor Swift whether they want to listen to her new interpretation or her old ones where Scott is making money. So from what I believe, if you want to differentiate streaming music, then you need to provide more transparency on exactly what's going on with the royalties and who's getting paid. And you need to give the user, the listener, the ability to tip the artist or to tip one of the producers, whoever he or she feels like tipping. It should be very simple with a click of a button. If you do that, then